Danny McMaster and his cast of superstars.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second half of the show tonight. I hope you're suitably refreshed and what have you. We're going to put some rollicking comedy and some more music straight into this show. We're going to start off the top with another musical icon, the late, the great, the Big O, Roy Orbison. Now, a little bit of Joe Cocker with Ray Charles again.
Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. You unchain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more.
Ray Charles.
Every time I call you on the phone, somebody there says you're not at home. Unchain my heart, woo, set me free, baby. I'm under your spell, just like a man in a trance. 'Cause you know darn well that I don't stand a chance. Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Come on, baby. You unchain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more. You don't love me no more, baby. You just make my life a misery, 'cause you don't care a bag of beans for me. Unchain my heart, set me free. Unchain my heart. Yeah, baby.
And now Sylvester Stallone sings Tom Jones. I saw the light on the night that I passed by her window. I saw the flickering shadows of love on her blind window. She was my woman. Oh, but as she gave me the flick, I went out of my tree. So I said to her, I said, why do you lie there? Oh, hey, oh, Mrs. Rambo. Hey, yo, I could say, hey, yo, I could see why this chick was no good for me, you know what I mean? Oh, so I went home and I got my M16. Oh, so I went home and I got my M16. Adrian. All right. How about a little bit of the Muppets?
Waka, waka, waka. When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, waka, 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 will you still be sending me a Valentine? If I've been out till 3:45, would you lock the door? Hiya! Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Waka waka. Who's the beardy beardy gurtin the first to be the beardy hurtin girder? Oh, the mort.
This is Peter Harvey from Canberra, the late Peter Harvey, asking the eternal question, who lives in the Hotel California tonight? Could it be John Howard?
I only dark desert highway. Cool wind in my hair, what's left of it. The rising smell of GST is going up through the air.
Up ahead in the distance, I seen me a shimmering light. Cop pulled me over the side of the road the other day, said, "You got any ID?" I said, "About what?" Well, there she stood in the doorway, and I heard the mission bell. And I was thinking to myself, this better be Hillary, otherwise I'm going to catch hell. And then he opened up the door, and he showed us the way. Can you show us the way, Tony Abbott?
I'm not real sure. Look at me, I was the governor of California. I was a movie star. M-O-O-F-I-E, movie. I was living it up as the governor of California. Any time of year. You won't find me here. Hasta la vista. I won't be back, baby. Thank you very much.
What's up, Doc? I'm looking for some carrots. Have you seen any carrots around here lately?
Carrots? Carrots, that dad blamed ribbit. How am I going to blast you? When I says war mule, I means a war.
Hello, I'm hunting wabbits. Have you seen any wabbits around here lately? You have to be very, very quiet.
Oh, I thought I tore a putty tat. I did tore a putty tat.
Fucking fuckata, shut up, you darn bird, or you'll give the game away. Meep, meep. "40 years went into that one. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Yeppa, yeppa, yeppa. Andale, andale, arriba, arriba. Woha, yeha, yeha. Hello, pussycat.
Hello, Ralph. Hello, Sam. Another dollar, another day, another coyote. Boy, I say, son, I say, boy, don't sink your fangs. I say, don't sink your fangs into me, son. I'm old and I'm stringy, boy. I'm going to have to speak slow to this boy because he's about as sharp as a bowling ball. You get yourself down to that little wooden building, son. It says D-O-G. That spells chicken, son.
That's all, folks.
I was actually in Los Angeles a number of years ago, and I was driving around, and my voiceover agent rang up, and they said, do you know the Warner Brothers cartoon characters? And I said, yes, I grew up with those in Australia. And they said, really, they had them down in Australia when you were a kid, huh? And I said, yeah, mate, yeah, we got all sorts of things down there. We got carpet, electricity, running water, all that sort of stuff. And he said, listen, all jokes aside, he said, come in and lay down some voices. So I did, and about 2 days later, they came back. He said, listen, Warner Brothers really loves your Daffy Duck. And I said, really? They said, yeah, they want you to go over and audition for a picture. I said, which picture? And they said, this one. And I went, wow, Looney Tunes back in action, starring Brendan Fraser, Jenna Elfman, and Steve Martin, amongst others, right? And I'm driving over to Warner Brothers, and I'm going through the gates of Warner Brothers, and I see the big logo up there, and I'm thinking, I've only ever seen this on television and movies and what have you, and here I am in the flesh, auditioning for a multi-million-dollar picture. So I go in there, and I said to the guy, what do you want? And he said, well, we're going to give you some classic dialogue from Duck Dodgers in the 25th and a half century. And I said, oh, that's one of my favorite cartoons. He said, yeah. He said, what's going to clinch you the job, though? He said, is if you know something off the top of your head, you know something off by heart. He said, you know lyrics to a song or a poem or something like that, or maybe a famous movie scene that you could put Daffy Duck into so that we know that you know the character of Daffy Duck. And I said, well, give me a couple of minutes to think about this. And I went outside and I thought about it. And I thought, well, a poem or a song really wouldn't be apt because we're in Hollywood. Why not do a classic scene from a classic movie? But which classic movie and which classic scene? And I thought, well, why don't I be current? Now, around about this time, a few weeks before, a movie came out that was destined to be a classic. The first time I saw it is this movie. And I thought, there's a scene in this that's destined to be a classic scene. Courtroom scene of A Few Good Men. Why couldn't Daffy Duck play the part of Jack Nicholson in the courtroom scene in A Few Good Men? Now, for people who haven't seen A Few Good Men, right, Tom Cruise's character is trying to get Jack Nicholson's character to admit that he gave the order to a code red, which is a slang term for a disciplinary action that went wrong. Marine Santiago dies and he's put on trial, or the two privates are put on trial for his murder. But somewhere near the end of the movie, somewhere at the crucial part, Tom Cruise realizes that Marines follow orders, and the orders had to have come down from on high, from Colonel Nathan Jessup. He said, I want some answers. He said, you want some answers? He said, I want the truth. He said, you can't handle the truth. He said, son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's going to do it? You, huh? You, Lieutenant Weinberg, have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago, and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, though tragic, probably saved lives. And my very existence, though grotesque and totally incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't want the truth, because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, and loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. Well, I've neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide that freedom. I would rather you just said thank you and go on your way. Otherwise, pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to. So I thought I'd do that speech. And Tom Cruise said, I just want to know if you wanted fries with that order, mate. That's all. Geez, you're a grumpy mongrel. And I remember saying to my comedian friends, I said, have you seen A Few Good Men? They said, yeah. And we've been back seeing it half a dozen times. I said, so have I. I said, isn't that a classic scene? They said, yeah. They said, nobody else could play that part except Jack Nicholson. And I said, you're kidding. And they're going, well, no, I mean, we think that's it. That's all. I said, well, no, once you see it, you got to say, yeah, he's pretty much nailed it and pretty much owns it. But this script would have been bouncing around for a few years. It's got Academy Award written all over it. I think there have been a few agencies and a few top actors in the world trying to get this part before Jack Nicholson got it. And since it is a multi-million-dollar picture, they'd want to have somebody up their sleeve. And I'm sure some of the A-graders would have at least auditioned. And they said, well, who do you think could possibly have a go at that part? And I said, well, use your imagination. I used mine. Maybe this guy. They said, Sean Connery? I said, yeah. I want some answers. You want some answers? Yes, sir, I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. He said, son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's going to do it? You big girl's blouse? I don't bloody think so. See, the first time I ever saw Sean Connery was, like a lot of people, 1961, Dr. No. I was 1. With a fabulously retentive memory. In that smoky Caribbean casino, the woman across from him said, your name, sir? Oh, the name is Bond, James Bond. And all the women in the world at that particular time went, yes. All the men wanted to be Bond, James Bond, 007, licensed to kill. So they practiced in the mirror. My name is Bond. Jimmy Bond, you dickhead. Have a go, you mongrel. I guess that's why Sean Connery got this job. He has a little bit more class. But see, this guy's over 80-odd years of age now. He still has that same class. Beautiful woman walks into a bar. Hello, how are you? Hello, my name is Bond, James Bond. Can I buy you a drink? She said, yes, thank you very much. She said, that's a rather unusual piece of jewelry you had there on your arm. He said, it's a watch. She said, well, how can it be a watch? It doesn't have any hands on it. How can you tell the time if it doesn't have any hands on it? It can't function as a watch. He said, well, it's a new gadget that Q gave to me from the laboratory. It communicates with me telepathically. She said, it communicates with you telepathically? She said, yes, it communicates with me telepathically. She said, what's it telling you now? It's telling me you don't have any underwear on. She said, I beg your pardon, I do have some underwear on. He said, oh, bugger me, it's an hour fast. Bond, James Bond. So I'm having a bit of fun with this, and I'm thinking, who else could play this part and have a bit of fun with it too? What about Michael Caine?
Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's going to do it? Santiago can't do it. He's brown bread. So bend over and I'll drive you home. Take that to the bank.
I think Michael Caine could be a stand-up comedian if he wanted to. You imagine if he comes out, ladies and gentlemen, the comic stylings of Sir Michael Caine.
Good evening, ladies and germs. I was laying in bed with my next-door neighbour, Harry, last night. After staring at the ceiling for about 20 minutes, I turned to Harry. I said, I don't think much of this wife swapping, do you? The governor of this ward, it's warden of this prison, the governor of the prison, has to put two blokes in the electric chair. He goes down, he stands in front of him, he said, the law says I have to grant you one wish before you shuttle off this mortal coil. Anything you want before you die. Said the first bloke, what do you want? He said, this is going to be an unusual request. He said, all right, it's all right, anything. The law, we have to do it. He said, right. He said, I want Justin Bieber himself to be standing here in front of me to sing Baby, Baby before I go. He said, that's the most unusual request we've ever had. He said, but we've got to do it. It's the law. He said, we're going to get Justin Bieber down here. He said, I don't know how we're going to do it. Maybe it's a jet helicopter or something like that. It could be in a few hours. He turns to the second bloke. He said, what do you want? He said, kill me first. Baby, baby. Priest checks into a motel. And the fellow behind the jump, he said, tonight, Father, is your lucky night. Not only do you get 20% off the tariff, he said, but tomorrow morning's breakfast is free. He said, your minibar is free and your cable television is free also. He goes, oh, my son, I hope that the porno channel on the cable television is disabled. He said, no, it's just ordinary porn, you sick bastard. Boom, boom. So now I'm ready for my Daffy Duck. They said, you got something for us? I said,
Yes, sir. Daffy Duck does a few good men rather than a few good ducks. You're despicable. Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's going to do it? You? I don't think so.
And I didn't get the job. You win some, you lose some. That's a story for another day. Thank you very much.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
My favourite television show of all time is Cheers. I had a distinct advantage over a lot of other people in the world in the fact that when I saw this show, I recognised every character in it because my dad owned a pub. And when you're connected very closely with a pub, you know characters in bars. So when I saw Cheers, I knew each and every character. My dad was Wallaby Bob at the Wallaby Hotel at Mudgeeraba, and I get asked by people from all around the world when they come to the Gold Coast, where should you go? I say, go and see the Wallaby Hotel, look at all the photos on the wall, and look at the history of the place, and it gives you a bit of an idea about the vibe of what it was. And so this is a bar, and there's all the characters in it. My favourite character was Cliff Clavin. Cliff Clavin, the postie, could tell anything to anybody in the bar, and they would believe him because they didn't have a clue what the hell he was talking about. So Norm comes in one night, he goes, Cliffy, here's the beer. This is the greatest drink ever invented. It's only a shame it has so many side effects. He goes, yeah, I agree with you there, Nami. Said, beer is probably the greatest drink ever invented. But some of those side effects could work to your advantage, you know. Yeah, you take the other night, I was watching this documentary on the Discovery Channel, and it seems a buffalo herd is only as strong as its weakest members. They pick off the weaker members of the buffalo herd first, thereby making the whole herd stronger. Yeah, it's a bit like drinking alcohol. Alcohol kills brain cells, but it picks off the weaker brain cells first, thereby making the whole brain a more faster and efficient piece of apparatus. And that's why you always feel smarter after a couple of beers. I agree with Cliffy. Cheers. Dr. Phil, the secret to happiness is to finish what you start. The secret to happiness is to finish what you start. You start something, you don't finish it, it gets filed away in the back of your mind as tension. And you start something else, you don't finish that, it gets filed away in the back of your mind as tensions. Well, pretty soon it's going to become a habit. And you're gonna start things that you don't finish, and they're all going to finish up as tension in the back of your head. And one day your head's going to be so full of tension, it's going to explode. So the secret to happiness is to finish what you start. So I took him at his word. I looked around the house one day. I looked at all the things I started and hadn't finished. So I finished off a bottle of Bundy, the red and white wine I'd opened a couple of nights before, the Prozac prescription with the Xanax, and a packet of Tim Tams. And when I left the house that morning, that's the happiest I've been in a long time. He was correct. One other time he was giving out some relationship advice. He said, I want to tell you there are rules that men wish women knew. There are three major rules that men wish women knew. Because these rules, if the girls knew them, they could defuse a situation that takes the stress out of a relationship, out of your marriage. There are three major rules. The first rule is if the toilet seat's up, put it down. It don't weigh much. You're a big girl. Second rule is, girls, if we ask you what is wrong and you say nothing, we will act like nothing is wrong. We're men, we're dumb, we do that. Third rule, probably the most important rule there is, do not rub the lamp if you don't want the genie to come out. Most of you get that, but some of you's going, what the hell's he talking about? So I'll show you later. Dr. Phil, thank you very much. People have asked me many times, when did you start doing impressions? And I say to them, I can't remember the exact date, but I think it was back when I was at school. And used to take off the teachers and then some of my more eccentric friends and what have you. The movies came along, then I watched all these larger-than-life characters on a big screen, much the same size as this one. Every Saturday night we used to go to the pictures and we'd see all the big movie stars, and then television came along, and then the music changed, and all these different sounds came out. So I started mimicking them all. And I remember the Beatles. When the Beatles first happened, 1962, on the radio changed completely, overnight. That was it. Out went the old, in with the new, and they didn't stand much of a chance. Although the charts over the next 4 or 5 years still had Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and those people in it. And it was such an exciting time to listen to music, and it was all different. And unlike today, I think it might be a little bit unfair to say that all our music today is not different, and it sounds the same. It's kind of the same, but I'm talking about big bands alongside of rock and roll, alongside country music, alongside comedy records. And I remember all those sounds. So people then said to me, well, what are your favorite impressions? And I say, well, it's probably the voice that I'm working on at the time. I love doing that. I love when telemarketers ring up. And I can give them a Billy Connolly or an Ozzy Osbourne even, or something like that. Speaking of Ozzy Osbourne, so I started out in a band in the 70s. And I was Black Sabbath. I'm the son of the evil darkness. I'm really scary. Anyhow, but I met my wife then. I met Sharon. I said, oh, bro, she was all right, you know. I said, you want to come up to my place? She says, I'm not into casual sex. I said, I'll wear a tie. Great sense of humor. Who else have we got? Now, would you believe this television show is 40 years old? Some mothers do have them. Frank Spencer. I have American people that sometimes that come to the shows, that when I do international shows, and they say, who's this guy? And I say, Phantom of the Opera. And they go, what? And I said, well, it's actually an actor by the name of Michael Crawford, and he ended up being the Phantom of the Opera. He did a great movie career before Frank Spencer came along. But what a character. I mean, I sort of an interview with him once, and they said, how did you get this man boy, this boy man,
character of Frank Spencer down. He said, well, you know, he said, I'm sitting there one morning at breakfast with my daughters who were very, very young at the time, and I'm trying to get them to eat their breakfast. And one of the smallest one was there. I said, come on, eat your eggs. And she goes, no, I won't eat my eggs. I said, I thought I'm onto something here. I was driving down the road in my little car. I pulled up at the traffic lights. A lady pulled up beside me in her car. She rolled her window down and she said, pig. I rolled my window down and I said, cow. Then I drove off and hit the pig. Stupid jokes. Silly jokes. Frank Spencer. Hope he lives forever. You always get a giggle. Billy Connolly. Oh, you know. Yes, you know. Oh, I say I'm getting an award here in this picture, like, you know. And the press was there. And they said to me, Billy, what are you getting the award for? I said, I don't know. I just put my best frock on and I showed up, you know. I'm getting a BE of some kind, like a CBE or a KBG, ABCDF, bloody bananas in pajamas or something, I don't know. And I don't know why I'm getting the award, because me and the Queen don't get along, you know, because I'm a Scot. It's not well known that the Queen receives in the mail each week 2 turds. And they've often wondered who sends the other one, you know. Hey, Billy Connolly, thank you very much. Bobby De Niro, huh? I gotta tell you, I love Christmas. I really do. I love Christmas. Last Christmas, I got a sweater. I really wanted a Screamer or Ramona, but you know. You can't have everything. Where would you put it? Bobby De Niro. Bill Cosby. See, you know, people talk to me. I go visit other countries. Unlike a lot of other Americans, people don't go out of America. And I come home and they say, what did you see on your last trip, Bill? I got some, when I first come down to Australia, it was down in the 70s, and I love traveling. See, and I come down there and I said, I come back, I said, well, I can tell you about Australian sports. And they said, do they have a sport there? I said, yes, they do. And they said, what do they have? They said, they have a cricket. And they have cricket? Yes, they have cricket. What the hell is cricket? And I said, well, it's a game. It's like baseball. Baseball is played on a diamond, and cricket is played on an oval. They said, an oval? Oval. It's oval. It's like a big egg, you know, and they play on that. And they turned around and said, well, we can't understand cricket. I said, well, I understand cricket. I can explain cricket to you. It's a very, very simple game. When you look at the field, it's a wicket. See, they've got a wicket down here. If you play on the wicket with the wickets at either end, and you've got the deep, you've got the short, and you've got the silly. The closer you get to the wicket, the sillier you get. So you get it because, and some people get very, very silly, and they stand right on the wicket, and you're not allowed to do it. See, so the guy with the holding the bat, he comes up and wants to hit you with it. And the whole thing is, now they got a guy on the field called the wicket keeper. And it's, so who's the wicket keeper? He keeps the wicket. Where does he keep it? Out on the field, where everybody can play on it. He said, where does he keep it? They don't put it in his back pocket, puts it on the field. So that's what they do. And they said, but that doesn't, you're not explaining anything about the game at all. I said, well, it's 2 teams of 11 people. They come out onto the field, they toss the coin, and put, what do you have, a head? If it's a head, it's a head. What will you do? Well, we will bat. What will you do? We will field. See, because the Irish team didn't know what they were going to do. So they're up there. The team that is batting is in, and the team that is fielding is out. They got to get the team that is in out, because they don't want to be out. Being out is not cool. Being out, so you're in or you're out. You're out. Oh, we're not hanging around with you. You're not cool. The in guys are the cool guys. So the team that is out, they go out. They surround the wicket. They surround the pitch. They say, "Come on out here." The team that is in. The team that is in goes in to the building. So what are we going to do in here? We'll send guys out 2 at a time, arm them with pieces of wood. So they go out, and there's a stand in the middle. The guy's got to bowl the ball down. You're not allowed to throw the ball. You got to bowl, no throwing. The only team allowed to throw is Sri Lanka. But you bowl the ball. You bowl it over the ball as fast as you can bowl the thing, and the guy's got to hit it with the piece of wood, and he hits it out, and they run between the wickets. And well, what's the other guy running for? Because he's his friend. He doesn't want to be left out. He has to run up there. He says, how you doing? How you doing? Every time they pass one another, how you doing? You feeling good? You feeling good? Feeling good? And sometimes when he gets out, the other guy goes, oh, I'm sorry I didn't run for you. Well, you should have been up there, shouldn't you? So the whole thing, he stands up and says, how do they score? When they run between the thing. And then sometimes when they hit the ball, they hit the fence. How many do they get for that? 4. Well, this guy didn't run, but he's always got 4. So when you hit the 4, you don't have to run. All right, so next thing he goes, he hits the ball, it goes over the fence. Hey, he got a 4. No, he got a 6. What the hell happened? He said, well, he cleared the fence. He got the 6. So he said, okay, now let's bowl the ball down, and the guy goes, he got him out. How did he get him out? He didn't hit the ball. He got legged before a wicket. What's that? I ain't going to explain that to you, I'll tell you. I ain't got enough days in the year. So the whole thing is that he's out. He goes into the building. When he gets in there, the guy said, what are you doing in here? He said, I'm out. You out? He said, yeah. You're in, weren't you? No, out there I was in, but in here I'm out. You better send another guy out there to go in. He said, okay. So he sent another guy out there to go in. The guys out there said, didn't we just get a guy out? We sent him in. He said, yeah, they're sending another guy out here to go in. They're breeding like ants. We don't know where the hell they're coming from. So the other guy, he comes out. He stands up there. What's he do? Next minute, the whole team's out. Hey, they all go into the building. When they're in there, they say, we in or we out? I don't know. I've been out there that long. I got sunstroke. I have no idea who the hell's in or nothing. But now the team that was in is now out, and the team that was out is now in, and they got to get the team that was in, who was now out, to get the team that was out in. They got to get them out, and they do that for 5 days. And that's how you play cricket, boy. Simple game, simple game.
Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones. I got wrinkles. I got wrinkles on my wrinkles. I've had wrinkles ever since I was 18. I got wrinkles in places that people don't have places. I got wrinkles. I'm old now. There's no dress rehearsal for getting old. You just get old. One day you just say, what happened? I'm old. I got more wrinkles on my wrinkles. But I could be a signpost for all of you. I can be a signpost for the whole of you. I could help you along the road to getting old and warn you about a couple of things. Things like hemorrhoid suppositories. Damn things just don't work. Took 2 with my breakfast, took 2 with my lunch, took 2 with my supper. For all the damn good they done me, I might as well just shoved them right up my... There you go. Tommy Lee Jones. Christopher Walken, you know, people take one look at me and they go, psychopath, because it saves them time. But you know, a lot of people don't know this, but I've been married for over 40 years to the same woman. Would be strange if it was 2, but it's 1. Yeah, okay. So, been married for over 40 years. Romantically, we are still together. It's wonderful. Last year on our anniversary, we went to this little Italian restaurant, and it was beautiful. You know, the food and the music and the wine. It was really good. And we're up there after the 3rd bottle of red. My wife, she's getting a little frisky, you know, and she leans across the table, and she says to me later on, you can do with me whatever you want. So I dropped her off at her mother's. Boom, boom, oh, happy day. Yeah. I didn't really do that. It's just a joke. Who else we got? Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman. People take one look at me and they say, Morgan, you've got a lot of fly shit on your face. What the hell was God thinking that day? When Morgan's born, throw some fly shit on his face. Could have put it on my ass. No, he put it on my face.
Then he let me grow up to be a movie star and show the whole world I got fly shit on my face. But I got even with God. I played him in a movie. And now God has fly shit on his face.
John Cleese. Yes, of course. You know, I have to say this. Over a year ago, he came to the Gold Coast Arts Centre. And of course, at the time I lived about, I'm not sure, less than a K from the place, less than a kilometre from the place. And I'm thinking, what is this English genius, comedy genius, doing in my little burg? I mean, this is a theatre that seats 900 people. And I'm thinking he could have gone to the convention centre that seats like 5,000, or he could have sold out the Brisbane Entertainment Centre on his own, being the comedy genius that he is. But he's doing this tour through the Gold Coast Arts Centre. And I thought, I have to buy a ticket, have to go and see this. And I'm wondering exactly what he was doing here. So, in the first couple of minutes, he tells me exactly what he's doing there. And people warned me, they said he's very tall, he's very thin. He said, you'll be shocked by that. I sure was when he walked out. Very thin, very tall. And I thought, wow. But then he explained to me exactly what he was doing here. I said, you know, this is my alimony tour. I have just been divorced for the 5th time or 6th time. I'm not really counting. We have that much fun. I owe the missus $24 million. And I didn't know I was that much of a stud. Anyhow, the whole thing is that, yes, I thought that one got through the keeper. But you get married for love and you divorce for money. I don't understand that. And I've been married to blondes, American psychiatrists, and they said, do you see a pattern developing here, John? I'm not sure. Anyhow, the whole thing is that, look, I'm telling you, when you fall in love, first fall in love, it's wonderful. And then, of course, the thing sort of peters out. There's no energy left. I think what my problem might be is the mothers. The mothers-in-law could be my Achilles heel. You take the last one, for example. We're at a dinner party early in the relationship, and her mother complained of a sharp stabbing pain in her left breast. I don't think she took it too well when I suggested to her it could be the cartilage in her knee. British humour straight through, over the heads. John Cleese, thank you very much. I think that when you get to the end of the year, everybody deserves a celebration. And at our house, we celebrate the traditional 12 days of Christmas with a different drink each and every day, just to see what happens. And inevitably it does. See, because I had an American fellow stay at our house a couple of years ago, and he said, hey, Dan, Christmas was 2 weeks away. He said, Dan, Christmas 2 weeks away. Can't wait for the first snowfall. I said, mate, you're one of the dumbest seppos God ever shovel guts in. You know that? He said, what do you mean? I said, well, don't take it wrong, mate. I said, but it doesn't snow here at Christmas. He said, really? I said, yeah, it's a phenomenon that happens in the southern hemisphere, and we just can't explain it. And he said, no. I said, don't take the urine out of me, Dan. I said, well, mate, it's true. It doesn't snow here. He said, well, how do you celebrate Christmas if it don't snow? We were out there making snowmen and all that sort of stuff. I said, that's easy. We all get pissed. And he said, you get angry? No. I said, we get on the drink. We're on the, oh, I see. I said, yeah. I said, we get on the drink. And I said, sometimes, he said, well, do you drink anything? I said, well, sometimes. I said, we start out with beer. And we could end up with anything. We could end up, with Bundy. He goes, what the hell's Bundy? I said, come with me to an inn, and I shall have you partake of Bundy. And he said, and so I showed him what Bundy was, and he had a drink of it, and it turned, he said, wow, you wouldn't want to have too many of them, huh? And I said, no. I said, Bundaberg rum, it really does something to you. I said, when you initially drink it, when you're younger, as you get older, you get immune. The only things you get from it are bruises and bumps and cuts and things. And you can't remember where the hell you got them from. But Bundaberg rum when you're younger is really something else. Bundaberg rum, you start drinking this thing and you actually grow a Superman costume. A cape grows out of the back of your collar. You turn into Bundaberg Man. I'm Bundaberg Man. I can do anything. They said the 7-foot-tall Maori on the nightclub door. He said, he won't let us in. Don't worry about a thing. I'll get my head punched in for you. I'm Bundaberg Man. And we see lots of Bundaberg men when we are younger, and we probably were one ourselves for a short time. But he said, well, no, hang on, man. He said, I'm not going to drink that and do all that sort of stuff. He said, but you said you got a tradition that happens at your house. I said, yeah, we celebrate the traditional 12 days of Christmas with a different drink each and every day just to see what happens, and it inevitably does. And he said, how does that work? I said, it's like this. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a pint glass of Charlie's homemade brew. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 nips of port and a pint glass of Charlie's homemade brew. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 double bundies, 2 nips of port and a pint glass of Charlie's. Oh, fourth day of Christmas, the true love gave to me 4 shots of brandy, 3 double bundies, 2 nips of port and a pint glass of Charlie's. On the 5th day of Christmas, the true love gave to me. Go back to 5, you idiot. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 Scotch ice to water, 4 shots of brandy, 3 bunnies, 2 nips of and I'm now you got the 6th one. On the 6th day of Christmas, she started looking pretty good. She gave me 6 beers. Every time I drink beer, I turn into Homer Simpson. Ooh, it was a very good beer. The year I drank beer was a very good year. Oh, now let's sing something from The Sound of Music. Here we go. Do the stuff that buys me beer. Ray, the guy that sells me beer. Me, the guy who drinks the beer. Far a long, long way to beer. So I'll have another beer. La, I'll have another beer. Tea, no thanks, I'm drinking beer. And that brings me back to do. Oh, let's all sing this song. We all sing this song together. Here we go. Do the stuff that buys me beer. Ray, the guy that sells me beer. And me, the guy who drinks the beer, far a long, long way to beer. So I'll have another beer. La, I'll have another beer. Tea, no thanks, I'm drinking beer. And that brings me back to do, and do. We did stuff that... But don't sing anymore because this song keeps going forever. It's a drinking song, that's why. Day with 6 beer, 5 Scotch ice, 4 shots of brandy, 3 up, bunny tunes, boy, and a bucket. On the 7th day of Christmas, 7 days of Christmas, 7 days of Christmas, we had jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle. Come in here, Rudolph, I'll show you something nice and red and shiny and bright, you mongrel. I'll give you a fat mate, ho, 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 too. Bloody sleigh wheelies and reindeer poopies are going to clean this stuff up. We had 7. We had bubba, bubba, dang-a-dang-dang-a-ding-a-dong, Malibu. 7 Malibu, 6 beer, 5 Scotch ice water, 4 shots of brandy, 3 up, boom, 2 initial, and a... On the 8th day of Christmas, I heard Mr. Santa Claus say to Mr. Santa Claus, come in out of the reindeer. I think he was mucking around the elves or something, I don't know. We had 8 rocket fuel, woo, 7 Malibu, 6 beer, 5 Scotch ice water, 4 shots of brandy, 3 duck, boom, bunny seniors, boy, and a bucket. On the 9th day of Christmas, I found out there's 2 things you got to do in the morning after the night before. That's find your car, then take back the one you took. It's only fair, it's only fair. Last year I found a nice little car with a blue bubble on top and 2 chauffeurs. Talk about spit the dummy out. All I do is run out the back of the police car. He said, didn't you see me? I said, I hit you, didn't I?
I'm stuck in the car, and I hate that when it happens. It's starting to rain. He puts his head in the window, and he said, "You've been a very silly boy." I said, "Well, I'm not getting wet." He said, "Get out of the car, you little mug." I said, "Hang on, I'll save you a bit of time. I'll bash myself up, all right?" "I know it's busy. It's Christmas." He said, "Get out of the car. Get in the back seat of the car." I said, "Why can't I sit in the front seat and play with the lights and turn the siren? I want the whole works and jerks if I'm going to jail." He said, "Get in the back seat like everybody else." I said, "All right, didn't leave a dozen bottles on the pizza in the front seat, did I?" He said, "No." I said, "Good." "You wouldn't let me sit in the front seat. Now no one can sit in the front seat, can they? Going to look like a dickhead driving from the back, aren't you?" I'm driving down the freeway last week. There's a copper standing in the middle of the road like that, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't think he's strong enough. Sure enough, he wasn't. He said, "You nearly run me over." I said, "You make a good target standing in the middle of the bloody road, you idiot." When I swerved, I was tempted to open the door. I said, "What do you get me?" He said, "You're doing 120 in an 80 zone. Any reason to be doing that?" I said, "No, it just seems to me the more you push this little black pedal, the faster the car goes." He said, "I'll ask you again without the sarcasm." I said, "Appreciate it." Don't want any attitude from you, mate. "You're doing 120 in an 80 zone. Any reason to be doing that?" "No, not really." "Is there any reason for your mate to be hiding behind a tree? Is he ashamed of his job or something?" I got pulled up by the coppers one. This is true. The bloke, he taps on the on the side door screen thing with the glass. Yeah. He tapped it on the window. I roll it down. He goes, "Are you the driver of this vehicle?" "Are we in the twilight zone or something, mate?" "What did you say?" "Are you the driver of this vehicle?" "Well, duh." "Yes, I am the driver of this vehicle. It's an automatic, but I got to be here." "You're half drunk." "Yeah, I know. I run out of money." "Oh, we have been drinking, have we? I don't remember buying you one." He said, "I'll have to ask you to step out here." "No, I'm too drunk. You get in here." He said, "You realise you're driving on the wrong side of the road?" "Yeah, the other side's full." He said, "Why are you driving down the highway at such a high speed?" "I'm taking my missus to the emergency room. She's overdosed on diet pills." He said, "There's no one there." "She's gone!" "Bloody hell. If you hadn't pulled me up, I could have saved her." "You mongrel." You got to try that one next time. If he doesn't laugh, he's not human. So I get down the cop shop, walk in there, and said, "What's that?" He said, "That's the breathalyzer." I said, "Oh, yeah, what does that do?" He said, "That tells you how much you've had to drink." I go, "I got one of them at home." She's spot on too, mate, I'll tell you. "What are all these photos in the cop shop wall here, mate? What are all these photos?" He said, "They're wanted criminals." I said, "Why don't you just keep them when you took their bloody photo, for Christ's sake?" Would have been the smart thing to do. So I pushed the car around the back of the cop shop, got a cab and went home. I went to bed. Before I went to bed, I had 9 vodkas and oranges. Went to bed. Next morning, I woke up, I had 10 Claytons, because that's the kind of day I had. 9 vodkas, I ain't drinking them again. 8 rocket fuel, 7 Malibu, 6 beer, 5 Scotch ice water, 4 shots of brandy, 3 double, 3... Oh, Jesus, I could go through the eye of a needle. I give you the drum. Oh, Jesus, I hope I don't cough. These undies have got to get me through to New Year's Eve, you know what I mean? I said to my missus, I said, "Black underwear turns me on," so she hasn't washed them for 6 months. Not quite what I had in mind. On the 11th day of Christmas, I found out the difference between Telstra and a pelican. They're none. They can both shove their bills up their bum. I had 11 fluffy ducks. 10 Claytons with 9 vodkas, 8 rocket fuel, 2 Malibu, 6 beer, 5 Scotch ice water, 4 shots of brandy, 3 duck, 2 nips of water. How come when you throw up there's always carrots in it? I don't remember eating any bloody carrots. Last year I threw up on the dog. I said, I don't remember eating that either. It was only a little dog. He covered in carrots. 12th and final day, I'm looking for a budgie with a big pair of boots on who's pooped in me mouth. Now he's walking around the inside of me skull trying to kick his way out. On the 12th day of Christmas, the true love gave to me 12 buckets of Barocca, 11 fluffy ducks, 10 clothes with 9 vodkas, 8 rocket fuel, 7 Malibu, 6 beer. It was a very good beer. 5 Scotch ice water, 4 shots of brandy, 3 duck bundies, 2 nips of port, and a half a pound of carrots, and a little bit of philosophy, never take a sleeping pill and a laxative at the same time. Oh, and a pint glass of Charlie's homemade brew. I wrote that from work experience. What an experience. I wish I had the money. I want to say thank you very much to the venue. I want to say thank you very much to the Helensvale Cultural Centre for having people of culture here tonight. I want to say thank you very much for Heatwave Productions. Now, if you are not familiar with this place, you are after tonight. And Heatwave Productions are doing great things throughout the community centres on the Gold Coast and what have you. And they're bringing lots of acts into the place. I'm very fortunate that my good friend Adam is in charge of that. And so do yourself a favour, go to the website heatwaveproductions.com.au and check it each week and see some of the favourite acts, some nostalgia acts, some new acts, all that sort of stuff is coming to these different places, not just this venue but other venues on the Gold Coast. I'd like you to put your hands together, Heatwave Productions and Helensvale. And the whole thing is that there's not enough live entertainment. I mean, we're so spoiled, you know. You can just pick up an iPad, a computer, or your phone, all that sort of stuff now, DVDs and that sort of thing. But the thing is, you know, you've got to get off your bum and go outside and go to a live venue. And you know what it's like when you go to see a band and they're playing your favourite songs and you're having a few drinks and having a few laughs and what have you. And that's what it's all about. It's about enjoying yourself. So getting out and supporting live performances is not only a good thing for the community, it's good for your sanity. So do yourself a favour. Thank you very, very much for coming along here tonight and for making this for me, because without you, it wouldn't happen. And you're only as good as your audience, and you've been pretty good. You've been excellent. Thank you. I've been at this a long time, and you know, you go through different stages of your career and that sort of stuff, but everything, it doesn't really matter. It's like it's what I do. I live and breathe it. So, and I've been very fortunate to go all over the world with it and survive. If I can only just get through to next week. But I'm looking forward to having a drink with each and every one of you after the show. I've left the wallet. So you'll shout. But anyhow, I say thank you very much for coming down tonight. Now, what I'm going to finish with here, this is something that we're just going to do a little summary of what you saw here tonight, and we're going to put it condense it into a little song that you're very familiar with, and let's see how many of them you could pick out. And there's a couple of extras thrown in. But I want to say thank you very, very much, and I'll see you outside in a minute. Here we go. Hoi-ya. And now the end is near, so I face the final curtain, my friends, oh, I'll say it clear.
I'll state my case, hey yo, of which I'm certain.
I've lived a life that's full frontal Kermit. I've traveled each and every highway. Hey, but more, much more than this. Waka, 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 waka. Who did it me? Beady, 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 more. Regrets. Oh, you know, I've had a few.
But then again, there's just too few to mention, you know what I mean, huh? I did what I had to do.
I saw it through. I saw it through without exemption and made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
I planned each careful step along the beachway.
Yes, indeedy, but more and more, you know what I did? This is what I did, boy.
I did it my way. Hoo-ha. Oh, yeah. Scent of a woman.
Yes, there were times that I think that you knew.
Ooh, that I bit off. Yes, I bit off more than I could chew because I was eating a donut at the time.
And through it all, when there was doubt,
I ate it up, baby, and I spit it out. Nice legs. What time do they open? Oh, do I make you horny, baby? I stood tall, right through it all. Now get off my lawn. Yes, I did it my way. Peace, baby.
I've laughed, I've loved, and I've cried.
I've had my share. Yes, my fill of losing. And did you know that as I stand here and as tears subside, you know, I find this all a little bit amusing. You know what I mean? You're talking to me? I'm listening. I hear you. You're the only one here. I don't know.
To think I did all that without any help from you, Sybil. And may I say, not in a shy way, Chief, missed by that much.
Oh, no, not me. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
I did it my way, lady. But what does she mean, huh? What does she mean? What does she got? You tell me. What she got, huh?
If not himself, then he has not. And the cat's done a whoopsie in the beret again, I tell you. To say the things that he truly feels, you know.
And not the words of one who kneels.
The record shows I took the blows, and I did it. Yes, I did it. Oh, I did it my way.
Zaboo-zoo, zip-zoo, zaboo-zip-zoo, zaboo-zoo.
I'm getting a little hungry down there. Can I eat the frog? Yes, it was my way. Thank you very much, folks. Good night. Hope to see you again sometime, all right? Thank you.